care because they only give you two people to vote for anyway. So either way, you're gonna vote for somebody that's gonna hurt women because they're both gonna both uphold the patriarchal and capitalist and racist system. So it don't matter. One of them is worse than the other one. Okay, but they both misogynistic. Neither one of them care about women. Who gives a fuck?
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So in a way, you're right? But I'm more interested in how do you get from where you are to where you need to go, where you want to go. So the objective is that you want women and men at their strongest. You want them at their most capable, and you want them functioning and working together as effectively as possible. So in order to achieve that, you would want to understand where they're coming from. Like, so how did this thing happen? Because it's easy to say that, men are just trash. They should just get up and, they just get up and leave their homes, which is true. They do. You get me? Especially in our community. A lot of black men, we don't have anybody productive to look up to.
Yes, we do.
So a lot of,
yes,
not
we do.
really.
Yeah, we
the
do.
Majority of them don't.
That's a lie. Your mom wasn't productive?
Yeah, and that had a large part.
But you do have somebody to look up to.
I do, but I'm talking about our culture as blacks.
What does that have? So what? What is it? Listen to what I'm saying. What you're trying to say is you're trying to make the excuse that boys don't got strong men in their lives, and I don't give a fuck about that. You do have somebody to look up to. Your mom is somebody to look up to because the women figure out a way to look up to their mamas and figure the shit out. So I don't want to hear that men can't do the same fucking thing. If you need a man to look up to, that is misogyny.
That's what I'm saying.
If you,
what are you saying? How, so for instance, I'm a byproduct of my parents. I'm lucky. I had a good father, good mother. And I know how that impacted my life. I know how I walk around the earth and I see other people, like other, black men, and some of the values that they came up with. And so to an extent, you're a product of your environment. So if we're going to collectively solve this problem, we have to look at it holistically. That's my point. So when somebody comes across that completely opposed to you,
I'm talking about solving it on a holistic level. You're not. I'm talking about the root cause of what's going on. You're not. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the actual thing, the thing that is identified, like this is the thing that's fucking it up for us. I'm talking about it. You're not.
No, you're talking about what you did is you identified what has actually happened. So like a guy walking up out of his house and leaving his kids. That's what happened. But the why behind that.
I know the why. I've given the why a million times. Why brother, men, there are many reasons. It's not one reason. But if you had to attribute it to something, it would be the patriarchy. But how does it affect men and how does it make men why does it make men abandon their kids? Often, in almost every case, when a man abandons the children, it is because he has lost access to the woman. And when that man loses access to the thing that he feels like was a possession of his, right? And he finds out that woman is not his possession, he gets mad. And to punish her, he abandons the children.
But can you relate to that? Huh? Can you relate to that personally?
What?
Can you relate to that personally?
No, I can't relate to that personally. Oh, have I seen it? Yeah, but can I relate to the thought process? No.
Can you relate to that? Like, can you think of yourself like, okay, maybe my wife has done something and I'm gonna get up and leave, and leave my kids and leave my wife?
No, that's not what happens. What happens is the wife, he does something, the wife goes, I'm done with you, get out. And then he goes, oh, I'll teach you. And then he abandons the family.
So that's something that, can you see yourself in that position? That's what I mean.
No, I can't see myself in that position. But most of the time when men abandon their kids, that is what happened. Also, I'll even go earlier for when the men are in the home with the kids, a reason why they don't contribute. The reason why they don't contribute to the reason why they don't contribute to helping out in the home. Lock the door. Lock the door. Linux. Lock the door. The reason why they don't contribute to the home is because they say it's the woman's job, it's the woman's duty. Also, the patriarchy, aka misogyny.
But can you relate to that?
Yeah.
Like, so
Absolutely.
you can relate to that and be in your home and think, okay, this job is my wife's job and this is what she's supposed to do, or.
Yep. Been there. Definitely had that thought process.
So
100%.
let me, like, so
100%.
one thing I find interesting is that, this is like, it's a relatively recent issue, right? Like, for
No, it's
some
not.
reason, we've always been able to get along as, male and female for quite a long time.
That's not true. There's no need. This is ahistorical. Again, you guys say stuff that's just not true. It is not true. Men have been fathering and abandoning children since remembrance, since papyrus, since we was writing on fucking
Not in
paper.
the manner, not in the way that it is today.
Yeah, in the way like
Not in the
today.
way it is
Yes, yes, yes,
like today. Like,
yes, like today.
so
Yes, God did
today.
it. God did it to Mary. Like, what are you talking about? It
God
was
did it to who?
God did it to Mary in the Bible.
Oh man, like really? Like,
Yeah. Mary was a single baby mama, 14 years old. He impregnated a child. But anyways, let me read these two super chats real quick. But these the same dudes that expect vagina on the first date. They should advertise vasectomies on YouTube. Maybe during my lives specifically. Midnight Snack said, I've noticed that a large portion of the male collective are in a state of arrested development. I can't believe you have to explain this ish to these dudes. Me either. But I also know that we are in a state of arrested development.
yeah, that's, you know what? Actually, I completely agree with that 100%. 100%. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. But you saying that, but you acting like this is a new thing is wild because it's not a new thing. It's been forever and a day.
No. What I mean by, I think, like, it's a new thing is like there's an inability of younger men and younger women to actually get along. There's always gonna, like, I've been married for a long time. There's years I didn't like my wife. Years you don't like her, but that's not the reason you're there.
Free that woman. Why would you not like your wife for years?
Because you're doing a difficult thing.
And put 10 on his head. Go ahead. You're doing a difficult thing. What's difficult? Being
Yeah, you're
married?
doing a difficult thing. You're raising children. You're managing a home. You're managing finances. It's not easy. So of course there's going to be times where she's not your best friend. But if that is the reason that you're married, then I always think like you're doomed. You're doomed because you're
I'm
talking about like
doomed.
there's no other relationship you're going to have in your life that lasts as long as that.
If I
You know,
expect to like my wife for the duration of my relationship, I'm doomed.
I'm saying that if somebody tells me that I like my wife for the entire 40 years that we've been married, I'm saying you're lying.
I don't take, not every day, but not disliking her for years is crazy.
It depends on how long you've been married. So you can be married for, like,
How
I've
long?
been married for a long time. And
You been married
I
that
wouldn't
long?
say I dislike her. It's not that I dislike her, but there's years that you just fall into your routine. You're just doing what you gotta do. You get me? You go to work, she goes to work, I clean this, she cleans that, and you're just going through the motions. And if you're, if you're
So why didn't you
focused,
fix it?
why did I fix it?
Why didn't you fix it? Why, if
I
you were
did fix it.
unhappy, and here's what I'm saying about men in relationships, what I be talking about how men don't do any of the emotional labor. You just said you were unhappy with this woman. After the first month, why wouldn't you go to her and be like, hey, I'm really unhappy. There's something going on. There's a disconnect. Let's address it.
Because that's not the reason I'm there.
Sir, that's not an excuse.
I'm not there for her to make me happy.
Yes, you are. Of
Why would I?
course.
No.
Why
Like,
are you with, so you're there for her labor? Is that what you're saying? Well, yeah. So you're there for her labor.
no, we're raising a family together.
Yeah, on her labor, on her back.
No, not on her back.
Of course it was
Why
on her
would you?
back. Why else would you put up with it for that long? She was doing the labor in the relationship. She was doing the labor in the home. So you needed her.
No,
You were using
we're
her.
both
If
doing
you're
the.
not there, think about what you're saying. I don't think you understand what you're saying right now. You're saying that you were in a whole fucking marriage with your wife I don't care how long you've been married. You ain't been married that long. But you didn't like your wife for years.
No. What I'm saying, like when I say I didn't like her, I mean you're not tickled by her presence.
Nah, bro, don't try to change it up now. You said you didn't like her for years. And then I asked you, well, why didn't you address it? And you said, well, that's not what we're there for. You're not there to make each other happy? The hell are you talking about? Of course. That's baked into it. That's not the only reason.
You know what?
But that's definitely a big ass reason.
My brother, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you there was a moment that I understood why.
Let me read the super chat. Jay Meyer said, men only like the reputation of being a family man. Absolutely, Jay. That's what I be getting to. They only like to be able to say they was married.
I'll tell you. So you get into this routine, right? You have children, and especially when you have more than one. For me, my objective is those children. So you got to provide a safe environment for them. You got to provide a clean environment for them, and you got to raise them so that they can be productive members of society and reasonably pursue whatever it is they want to pursue in life.
And you know what a part of that? You know what's baked into that?
What's that?
Your happiness and the happiness of your wife, because your child's happiness is directly connected to the happiness of your wife. And if you weren't happy for years, that means your wife wasn't happy for years.
I didn't say I wasn't happy.
If your wife wasn't happy for years, that means your kids weren't happy for years. So you were actually, so you were, sir.
Sorry.
You were actually contributing the thing that you were saying that's what you're there for. You were actually not, you weren't fulfilling that, right? They put 10 more, so they got 20 on that boy head. That's crazy, Dapper. I don't think y'all really be knowing what y'all be saying when y'all say that type of stuff. You really think that's rational? You weren't happy for years, and meaning your wife also wasn't happy for years?
No, it wasn't. Maybe I articulated incorrectly. Okay. What I meant, he's not your best friend. Like you get into this routine where you're just going through the motions. So yeah, maybe the first 4 or 5 years of your relationship, you're very happy to be married and everything's going good. You have, one child and you're doing all those nice little things that, people take pictures and post them on TikTok. And then after that, you have another child. And then after that, you have another child. And you just get into the routine of life. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's something wrong with that. Absolutely. That's unhealthy. That is not healthy, sir. And there is a way to stop that. Like y'all really trying to sell people on being in men aren't beating this case. We want cellmates, not soulmates. We really not beating that. That case is that shit is following us right now, like a rap sheet. It's crazy. Let me read the super chat though. Erica said, according to the NY Times, Michelle Obama couldn't stand husband Barack for 10 years of marriage. Yeah. And she should have left that man.
Yeah, she did say that.
Wait. Y'all think that Michelle Obama is the standard? Y'all think Barack and Michelle Obama? I don't care nothing about Michelle Obama or Barack Obama. To me, I ain't gonna even hold you, but definitely when they giving advice on marriage, they are both wrong.
Why would you say that?
The ends do not justify the means. That woman should have left that man. Whenever that happened, she should have left that man months, 10 years of being upset with the human. Like, come on, y'all.
But the thing is, why do you think that happened? So, like, I would look at it that you're talking about two people that have achieved the highest office in your country.
So you think that I judge, and here's what I be saying why you don't ever covet other people's relationships, because that woman said she hated her husband for 10 years, and I wouldn't trade that to be president for anything. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trading 10 years of misery so we can go to the White House. No.
But no, so it's not even like, forget the White House. It's that you've both been able to achieve what you set out to do. So like what I've always been trying to tell you that I find interesting is that you have no capability for adversity. Like, so yeah, you're not going to like her every day. And so then when you don't like her for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, then you just get up and say, you know what, this ain't working for me. You're not making me happy. Either we address it or I'm out the door.
Sir.
That's not how anything substantial.
Yeah, that is actually more people need to do that. We need to normalize that. Secondly, more men, hold on. If you are unhappy, more men need to start doing more of the emotional labor and going to the women and pointing out that they're unhappy and stop waiting on
I
the
wasn't
woman.
unhappy. I just wasn't thrilled.
Sir, you saying different stuff. What is it? Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? I need to
No,
know.
what I'm saying is when I say, like I told you that I misspoke when I say I didn't like her. But what I
You keep
meant is,
saying the
it's
same
no
thing though,
big deal.
Dapper. You're just saying it in different ways. I'm saying I get what you're saying. You're just saying the same thing in different ways. It's the same thing though.
So,
You can try
like,
to
so for instance,
like lessen it. You try to mitigate it.
now,
That you can try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's not. Oh, I didn't hate her. I just strongly dislike. Wait. I didn't strongly dislike her.
no.
But
That's,
every
I
day
didn't,
you don't
no,
gotta like the person you're like. However you swing it,
no. So,
it
like,
was an
for instance,
extended period of time when
today,
you didn't like your
right?
wife. And you did not
Today,
think in your brain that I should go to this woman and talk to her. Men would rather, here's what I'm saying. And you are proof of exactly what I be saying about men. If these relationships didn't benefit us, if that relationship with your wife wasn't still benefiting you, even though you were unhappy or upset or whatever the case may be, you would have left. But it was. And in all honesty, I can almost guarantee you the reason why you were unhappy was because she was unhappy with you.
no, I wasn't. No, that had nothing to do with it.
Oh my God.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was just that you're trying to build a life. So my wife and I, yes, we're happy today, but we're happy today because we have money, we've accomplished things, and life is a lot easier. But during that period, when young people are establishing themselves, you're not going to be happy. When you go to school as a child growing up,
Who
you go to
told you
school.
that?
School isn't fun.
Who told you that? Don't project that. You projecting. You weren't happy.
Do you have do you have kids?
Yeah. Talk about my kids
Okay,
all the
so
time.
during the summer holidays, do you not notice that your kids tend to wake up very early by themselves? And then when they get to school time, you have to drag them out of bed?
Okay.
School isn't fun. You're doing it for a reason. You're doing it because of what you will get after you go to school.
No.
So
Wait. You're comparing school to your relationship. Wouldn't be
I'm
it wouldn't be
using it as a
listen,
general principle.
sir, it wouldn't be a one-to-one. School would be work.
Relationships are work.
All right.
Don't you think they're work?
I
Like,
think relationships are as hard as we make them, and by we I mean men. I think
all right, so
relationships
let me
are as
ask
hard
you,
as men make them
what do you think is the number one reason that um, relationships end up in divorce?
because men are incorrigible, and
No, that's not true.
we cannot get along with women. We refuse to do it.
That's not true. The reason that
Okay.
most marriages end up in divorce has to do with finances. That's the biggest
No,
stress on a marriage.
no, it's not. It's not finances. Number one, if anything, it'll be infidelity. But even if you want to, like, I've had this discussion about finances. Right? Finances is a broad term. Finance is a broad term. You don't know what that means though. You don't know, like, but you've been married. You say you're married for a long time. If you've ever struggled with finances, you know how that affects other parts of your relationship. You know, it's
Yes, I
not
do.
like the money is the trigger, don't get me wrong, but the other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the other things too. It's like, damn, you broke and you not helping out around the house. You broke and your ass playing video games 19 hours a day. We broke and you're mean and you don't pay attention to me. Like, so yeah, you can say it's the money. At the end of the day, you can say it's the money, but it was really that other stuff. Because trust me, you could be a nice. Y'all can say whatever you want to say. I think a man can make a woman happy even if they're broke, right? And we know there's levels to broke, but just generally speaking, if that man is broke, I think that man can still make that woman happy. I do. I think he could. I think that man could be a better husband than even a man who makes more money. And I'm not saying this that they have an advantage. I'm just saying if this man were to actually like put effort into the relationship, then I think that woman would be more content and more happy than the woman who is in a relationship with the man who makes more money, right? So it ain't money. That's not the thing.
No, it's not. That's it's when. So when they say that finances are the number one cause of divorce. It's not the amount of money you're talking about. It's probably the agreement as to how that money is managed.
It's the communication and lack thereof. And who typically doesn't know how to communicate in a relationship?
Men.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
That's usually what it comes down to. It's the communication.
So those years.
But when they put it on the paper, they say finances.
Right? Those years that I was telling you about my wife.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is that she's my wife. So she actually took the time, put the work in to know that, okay, this is the man that I'm with. This is the type of man I'm with. So if he's quiet and he's a little bit distant, it has nothing to do with me. And so then she also steps up and says, all right, what do I do? Sometimes it's like keep the children away from him because he's deep in thought. The same way that I can just wake up in the morning and just by the way this woman is sleeping in bed, I know full well, go grab the kids and I'm out the house. I'm like, we're going to go do something. But it takes time to get to that point. That's my thing is that it's like everybody seems to want this ready-made perfect situation where it's like you have to get there.
Bare
So
minimum.
I'm 15 years
We
in now.
just need bare minimum shit going on. I got to ask you this question. Dainty Doe, appreciate you. They said they want me to ask you, why did you dislike your wife for years?
Because we were just doing our jobs.
But that doesn't explain it.
Yeah, like we were just doing our jobs, and
Was she neglecting you? Was that why?
No, it had nothing to do with her. It had absolutely nothing to do with her.
That doesn't make sense.
So she's just my partner in this endeavor, and at this stage of the endeavor, things are difficult. So we're trying to build our finances, we're trying to pay off our first home, those type of things, and then we had 3 young children, um, and then one stepchild, and we're also trying to figure ourselves out because we're not related. It's not like this is a woman that I grew up with. This is some chick that you met on the street one day, and then you guys decided to take on this huge task.
So you never liked her?
I always liked her. She's always like, but I think the thing that I respect about her the most is the fact that we got there. We got there. So I wasn't always the perfect husband. She wasn't always the perfect wife. But because we were committed to this pursuit that, we're going to be good parents and we're going to give a good life to our children, it took the focus off of us. So about 12 years later, when everything seemed to be going smoothly and people would look at us and say, oh, you guys have this nice relationship, you guys are best friends or whatever. I just laugh because I'm like, you're looking at the end result. You're not looking at how we got there.
Casual, they have one more question for you. They said, did you ever cheat on your wife? I don't know if you're
No,
going to tell us.
no.
Never?
No, I like money too much. I don't have time for chicks. I didn't like that at all.
Okay. Did she ever cheat on you?
No, not really. I mean, like,
Not really.
yeah, I would say not really. I mean, there was times where she would look for validation in other places, right? So maybe she would, go to a certain restaurant or something where, other rich and powerful men are there, and it just makes her feel good.
So she was like emotionally cheating on you.
Yeah, that's what you guys would say. You would say it's emotionally cheating on me.
Yeah, that's cheating for sure.
And I was just like, okay, whatever. Because if she tells me when I get up in the morning and I, put on my suit and she's like, oh, you look handsome, I don't really believe her, to be true. She's my wife. You're supposed to say that. But I know that, yeah, when I go into
why
town.
wouldn't you believe? Bro, you sound like you don't like this woman at all.
No, I
like,
do. Like, yeah, I do.
God damn. Do you like
No,
this
I mean,
woman?
like,
Like,
even,
you sound like
when
you
your
don't
mom,
like her
like,
one bit. This is crazy.
no, I mean,
I
for
don't think you
instance,
like
when
her.
your mama tells you, oh, you're handsome, it's like, okay, you're my mama. You're supposed to say that.
See, you projecting. I gotta tell you something. Do you know that none of y'all could tell me that I'm ugly because my mama told me I was handsome my whole life? Y'all can't tell me shit. I would never believe you. my mama told me I was handsome. Some of my earliest memories, my mama telling me I was handsome. I don't know what you're talking about. I believed her.
Yeah. So your mama is always going to give you, your mom's always going to encourage you. She's not probably going to tell you the truth. right? And so with my
No, my
wife,
mama told me the truth. Other people be lying. They got a reason to hate. My mama ain't got no reason to hate. My mama told me the truth. My
so
mama told
what
me
your
the
mama
truth.
told you.
Y'all be hating. That's how I
So
look. I don't know what you're talking
you ever
about.
heard a mama tell you that? You ever heard a mama tell her son that you ugly?
Some mamas be telling their babies they ugly. Some mamas
Well,
do.
that's kind of but
But very few do. Don't get me wrong. Very few do. But nah, I don't know, bro. When my mama told me I was handsome, I believed her. I never and I never for 1 second thought, man, she just telling me that because I'm her son. I was like, I'm that nigga. Like, I don't
yeah,
know
but,
what you. I ain't
like
gonna
I
even
see
hold
that
you.
that's why I said like somehow because I knew that you guys would come back and say that it's emotionally cheating, but for me, it's not something that was. It wasn't something that was hidden. You understand? So sometimes maybe I'd have to pick her up somewhere and I tell her to meet me at this restaurant because I know there's rich and powerful men there. And then I just leave her there for like 30, 40 minutes. I just leave her
Oh,
there
you
so
was
that,
helping her cheat.
yeah, because it makes her feel good. It makes her feel good, right? And so
Hey
I
man,
know that when I tell her you're beautiful and that thing I tell her, she'll be like, yeah,
hold
okay,
on,
whatever.
man.
And
You was
she's
helping your wife cheat on you?
what?
Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
so you guys would call it emotional cheating, but
It
I
is
just call
cheating.
it.
My
Hmm?
wife would y'all. Hey, my wife would just my wife would smack my whole. I do some shit like that. I'm catching the eye jammy. I don't know what you're talking about. We up out of here. I'm about to
It
think
makes
on
her
that one.
feel good.
Drop me off at a restaurant so these women could gawk at me. My, my wife gonna be like, my wife gonna be
If
like,
you
get the
know,
rope. Like, what?
if your wife knows that you ain't going nowhere, what's wrong with that?
Say that again?
If your wife knows you ain't going nowhere, what's wrong with that?
That I need validation from random women?
You
Definitely
need
something wrong with
validation from
that.
everybody. Like everybody needs validation. That's why we go out into
I
society the
don't
way
need
we
no
do.
validation from no. See, you've been projecting this whole time, sir. You talking to the wrong part. I don't give a. I just told you. My mama already told me I was handsome, and I already think I'm fly. Like I don't
You
know.
know? Oh
Y'all can say
God.
I'm not. Y'all can get on here. You know how many people done try to bag on me and roast me and shit like that. Have y'all seen me change? Is my look different? Have I started dressing? Now I'm the same nigga. I don't give a fuck what these people be saying.
No,
I'm
I
me.
completely understand you. I completely understand you. But like for me, I know that I'm somebody who gets to wear suits when I go to work. And
Okay.
I go out in the day, I can't lie to you. It feels good when you're around town and buying your coffee. Maybe you're doing something. Everybody just appreciates.
Hey, your phone breaking up. Let me read the super chat though. And Tilly, I appreciate you. She said he chose his lifetime business partner. That was his best option at the time, and he grew to like her. It was damn near like an arranged marriage, huh? Damn
No,
near.
no, no,
The way you talking
no.
about that
Like
lady, man, you done called her a chick. You done said we was, man.
because she's hot, right? Like the fact that and she's my wife and she's the mother of my children. That's not who she is. Those are just things that she does. But she's her own person. She
Mm.
was her own person before she met me. She was her own person when we got married. She's her own person after. So I don't have any business telling this woman just because you're married to me and you're the mother of my child what you should do and what you should pursue.
Oh,
My
absolutely.
approach.
Yeah, I got every right in the world. I don't know what you talking about.
No,
What you
it's
talking
like
about? I got every right. My wife, just like she got every right in the world to tell me what is you talking about. I got I got every right in the world to tell my wife, like, I don't like that. I don't want you to do that. If you do that, I'm not gonna be happy. If I'm not happy, I'm probably gonna leave. Like, what? I got every right, and she got every right in the world to tell me the shit that she don't like about me. And if it's within reason, I should, you know what I'm saying? I should be working on it. Period, point blank. I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy. My
okay,
wife
maybe
would
I'm
tell me,
lucky that none of those things have come up in my life. Like none of those things. So it's what I'm talking about is something like
you
a
got
career
cheated
choice.
on. You ain't lucky. You unlucky.
No, no, like no. You said
My wife never
you say
cheated
like
on me.
emotional cheating. You
My
were
wife
talking
ain't
about
never
emotional cheating.
emotionally cheated on me. She ain't never liked the nigga picture. She ain't never put hard eyes under it. My wife ain't never
No,
cheated
so
on
like
me.
yeah, so like that type of stuff. Like you're talking about liking people's pictures and that social media stuff. No, that doesn't happen. But like I don't care. Like I in my company, I have a lot of women that work for me, and when they come to the office and they're dealing with other executives from other companies and doing whatever they're going to do, there's an element of flirtation that happens. It happens. It's just the way that the professional world works.
So
So
y'all
I
like,
don't think.
watching each other like flirt with other people and shit.
No, I'm no, no, it doesn't come up. I'm not there, right? Because I got my own job, I got my own thing to do. But I'm not gonna pretend that when she gets up out of the house and she's looking fine, that other people aren't going to find her attractive. And then when she's walking around town and people be looking at her and maybe making statements that she's got to like hold up her left hand and be like, "I'm married." No, I know where she's coming from. I know where she's coming to. So yeah, enjoy yourself because you're a beautiful woman and you're an accomplished woman. You're a wife. You have three successful children. You have a stepdaughter that you've also been a successful mother to. You have a successful business.
Hey, that's your daughter, the stepdaughter.
Yeah, my first daughter. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You had her. Oh, so you didn't have her when you was married. You had her outside of before y'all got married, right?
Yeah, my first marriage. Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing. Like I when you wish the best for somebody outside of yourself, I find life to be a lot easier. But when it's like, how does this person relate to me in every step that they take? Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a problem. Like you're gonna have a problem
Hmm.
because it's almost like impossible to reconcile. So why would I think that? Like that's why I say I don't. So you're telling me that when you go to the barbershop, come out the barbershop, and you're on your way home, and you get a little smile from I don't know, like the store clerk or somebody says something nice to you and you know full well that this person just thinks I'm attractive. Just because you don't act on it doesn't mean it doesn't feel good.
I mean, that's cool, but I don't ask for that. I don't need that. That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need that. I get it. Cool. I get complimented all the time, but I don't need it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So what if your um like your spouse or your partner is just picking at every little thing that you're doing about that, like why are you wearing that, that kind of thing. I'm like, if you're in a committed relationship, and that's the difference between a girlfriend and a boyfriend to me, is a girlfriend and a boyfriend or a husband and a wife is you are taking on an objective, right? Like you get married to have children, you get married to build um, a home for those children, and that should come first. And if that comes first, you tend to get along better, even when you're not each other's favorite person.
I got to read the super chat. God is cold said, "How this dude got me missing prototype in GV?" Well,
I don't even know what that means.
the prototype and GV are two dudes that be on the panels a lot, man. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, they a little problematic, but she's saying that you are worse than them.
Oh,
Apparently.
really?
Yeah.
That's terrible. But
Yeah. If you doing worse than G Vizzle, you doing worse than God's vessel.
that's bad, eh?
That's bad. That's definitely bad, man. You gotta do better, Crody.
Yeah, but I know a lot of my friends, everybody is like, divorced or having issues with their baby mamas and that type of stuff. And I've been able to avoid all of that. And
No, sir. Here's what you don't get to brag. You had a shitty relationship. You had a
what do you
terrible
mean I had a shitty
relationship.
relationship?
You did.
With who?
With your wife.
No, I didn't have a shitty relationship. She just wasn't
Of
my
course you
best
did.
friend
Your
all
relationship
the
was
time.
terrible. What are you talking about?
Why would you say that my relationship was terrible?
Because you told us it was bad. You told you, sir, your words,
that's what I
not
don't
mine.
understand. What would make you think that? Because like you're creating expectations for people that are just not realistic. Like you can't be married to somebody for like 20 years and think that this person is going to be your favorite person all the time. Like the lady said, that's what Michelle Obama was talking about. She wasn't saying that I should have left during that time. She was saying that this is what marriage actually is. That's what it actually is.
You and Michelle
You made a
Obama
commitment.
are
You made a
both
vow.
wrong.
You didn't say that whether I like the person or not.
What vow
You
did I
said that
make?
I'll
To be
be there
unhappy
in
for
these
10 years during
situations,
my
whether,
marriage?
like, you get
I
me,
didn't make a, hold
regardless.
on, Dapper. I never made a vow
And
to
if
be
you're able
unhappy in
to
my
do
marriage.
that, you know, from my experience.
Hold on. I never made a promise to be unhappy for years upon years in my marriage. I never made that vow. I don't know if y'all made that vow. That's a fucked up vow to make. You should have read the contract better. Cause I didn't make that vow. And I definitely don't expect my wife to be that person. That's crazy work. Let me read the super chat. Evie, appreciate you. I don't know if I could say this, but he sounds like a closeted guy who got married to hide his true nature. Oh, you said it. So you can say it. Public, Antoine said, public, somebody said Dapper needs to go into Urkel's transformation chamber so he can get the Stefan Cool jeans. Oh my God, man. This is crazy. Hey, what's up, Imperfect?
Hey, Public, thanks for letting me up. My first time up here on your platform. Been watching you for a long time. I just have like a question for Dapper. So, are you telling me that men need validation all the time, like children? You gonna answer the question, or you just gonna be quiet now?
He's muted right now.
I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think men need validation like children, but you know, you're working with a thing, right? So it's like men have their traits, women also have their traits. And if you know that you're dealing with a man and you're not comparing that man to yourself, I think things become, you know, evident. I know that my wife is a woman. I know that she has different reactions to things than I do. So, you know, you respect that and you don't, I think you just don't criticize it. This is the way she is. And it's not, I don't want her to suit me. That's the thing. Like, she's not there to suit me and to fulfill my every desire or, any, I don't know, like that kind of Western idea. So we have
Western.
Yeah, I think it's a Western concept.
Why do y'all got the West is great? Y'all got to stop talking about the West like it's bad. The West is better than the East. If you go to, here's what I'm saying. You got a lot of background noise. If the West is the society that says that women that's giving women more autonomy than the East, then the West is better than the East. If the West is the society where the West is saying you don't need to stay in a loveless marriage, you definitely should be in a marriage where you like your partner and your partner likes you and you reciprocate happiness and love and caring and tenderness and all that type of shit, then the West is better. Because that's what I hear when y'all say that, like, oh, in the West, like to be in a relationship where you love each other, I mean, that's some Western stuff. Like, yeah, what the fuck? You got me rooting. Like, now I'm like, shit, well, the Europeans might be right. If that's how you trying to sell it, that's diabolical. Like, what are you talking about? Like, absolutely, you should not be in a marriage or a relationship with a person that is not pouring into you. That's not, like, what? Leave, bounce, get up out of here. Let me read these two super chats. T Friend, appreciate you. They clocked something. They said he hasn't said I was in love with her. He called her a chick though. Jay Lovely, appreciate it. Jay Lovely said this is his second marriage, probably why his first wife left. Híjole. Let me check my you could go Imperfect. Let me I gotta check I'm checking the
It sounds like to me that your marriage is more of a business arrangement, and it just seems like you weren't very fond of your wife in the first place. And why is it that y'all men always want to have struggle love? Like nobody don't want to struggle with y'all no more. We tired. Like what is wrong with y'all? Like seriously. I'm getting so sick of this. All these men on this app, all they do is yap, 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 and cry about this stuff. It's getting ridiculous. If you weren't happy, open your mouth and say something. That is nobody's fault but your own, not hers. I'm tired of y'all always blaming everything on women all the time, too. Open your mouth. You're grown. You're a grown man. If you weren't happy, say something. Address it. If it can't be addressed, then guess what? It's time to move on. It's no point in being in somewhere if you're miserable and unhappy. But for some reason, y'all like that and they want to turn around and blame it on us. Like, I'm so sick of y'all on here. Like, oh, like this is my first time up on public's platform, and y'all done really drained all my energy. Just with you and the other one beforehand. Like he was just, I don't even want to get on that one. I blocked him immediately. That's why I like public platform because he lets me know how many dangerous unhinged people to unblock, because I've blocked a lot of people because of what y'all show me on his platform, and this is ridiculous.
You know what it is? You know why so many men be talking about struggle love? Because men know that we are inherently going to fail women. We know we are going to inevitably, I should say. We know we are going to inevitably fail women in the relationship. We know it. So we prime the women for being in unfulfilling relationships. We prime them for that. Through thick and thin, rich or poor, blah, 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 whatever the fuck else those vows say, right? Then we try to trick them on our wedding day because they don't know what that actually looks like. Most people don't actually think about what it looks like, right? You get them to sign on this fucking contract and trick them with these vows and shit. Then you get into marriage and then you try to, and then you start acting up and then they go, oh, but you signed on the dotted line. Like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, what the fuck? We are unhappy for 5 consecutive years. I'm out. Oh, you said for better or worse. And this is worse. No, nigga, this is wasa. This is wasa. Exactly. Nobody signed up for wasa. I signed up for worse. I didn't sign up for the worst. I didn't sign up for the worst. Y'all, like, you know what I'm saying?
And you know they always with all these Disney movies from when we're little girls. And you know, I was born in '82, so I came from, oh, you just need to give a man a chance and build him up. Well, you know what? I'm tired. You grown. Build your daggone self up like we do. It's ridiculous. Y'all want to look to us.
I didn't say that at all.
Everything like, else, it's ridiculous. About, like, you want way too much to drain us and take way too much.
You notice, I didn't say anything about my wife. I didn't say that she needs to do something different.
It's just ridiculous, and I'm so sick of you men up here.
But you're talking about something that you can't do. That's my point. Like, as a society, there's a reason we celebrate people who have been able to maintain relations for a long time. Even if it's your brother, your mother, your friend. It's not every day you get along with the person. Just because you have a fight with the person or you don't get along with the person, you don't bounce.
If they're toxic to me and they can't be loyal and good to me like I am to them, they getting cut loose, because I'm not gonna sit here and let nobody drain me of my energy and my happiness and my peace. You can go be mad and miserable in the corner by yourself. I've cut out a lot of people because they were damaging me and my mental and physical health. So when it gets to that point, you got to go. If you want to keep that stuff in your life, be fine. Unalive your own self in time. But me, I'm not gonna let anybody drain my life force out of me, and that's what y'all like to do. You like to drain the life force out of people.
I have a question for you, Dapper. China said, if a stranger tells him, you believe them?
If a stranger tells me what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
That you're attractive, I think.
That I'm attractive?
Yeah, I think, like, because you were saying, like, you don't believe your wife, but you believe a stranger.
No, it's not that I don't believe my wife, but I expect it out of her because she loves me. And so
but you said I don't believe her. But you said I don't believe her. That was your exact words. I got another. Aaliyah said I'm tired of this. Cheryl called you Dusty Dan. Yeah, this ain't going well, but they got 20 on that boy head, just FYI. But go ahead, man. I'm listening to you. You saying a lot of, you saying one thing and then you going back and saying something different later. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. You got to say what you mean to me.
What I'm saying is that, like, for instance, right now, we've done a lot of the heavy lifting. You understand? So it's easier for us to enjoy each other because we don't have all of that work to do. So a lot of the things that I hear people talking about in terms of, oh, she doesn't give me this or he doesn't give me that or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's the stress of what you're doing at the time. Because if you notice, these are things that like basically young people say. But what do you expect's gonna happen? Like, what did you expect's gonna happen? You're now starting your career. Both of you are trying to build your careers in society. You have young children, which take a lot of work. You're trying to build your finances. Why don't you think you're gonna be under pressure? And why don't you forgive yourselves a little bit for not being at your best all the time? Because it gets better. I don't have to worry about the same things I did when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, but we got through it. And so our relationship now is not like, it didn't start off in the gates like that. It's a result of a lot of hard work and commitment. So what
I'm so confused. Your marriage and my marriage sound completely different. Me and you got completely different. Like, I do not view marriage in that way at all. That's crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. This sounds like.
So you're telling me for the entire time that you've been married, your wife has been your best friend, and your relationship has been lovey-dovey, 365 days a year.
The first part, yes. My wife has been my best friend by far in my relationship, pretty much since the day we've been together. Secondly, no, it hasn't been lovey-dovey. Ask me why it hasn't been lovey-dovey, Gavin.
Why hasn't it been lovey-dovey?
Because of me. It could have been. I had to mute you up. You got a lot of background noise. Yeah, it could have been lovey-dovey. It should have been lovey-dovey. I made it hard. I made it more difficult. I wasn't listening. I was being combative. I was, lying, gaslighting, whatever. I was doing all of that stuff. Yeah, but it could have. It could have all been so simple. It could have all been so simple. If only I would have figured this out 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, or 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, could have all been so simple. If I just would have approached my relationship with a lot more integrity and a lot more patience, and actually been committed to doing the things that I needed to do, and was more open to listening and growing and all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. Like, if I did that, my relationship would have been, I never would have had a complaint. Ever. There would be nothing I could say. And I can't complain today, to be honest with you, because everything that my wife has ever done to me was a reaction to something that I did to her. Right? Whatever I could say about her negatively, it would be like, but I only did that because like something that I did, you know what I mean? So she was like, I did whatever, and she ain't never did nothing crazy, but whatever it was, it would be oh yeah, you remember when you just didn't freaking give me a kiss for 2 weeks? It'd be like, yeah, because remember you lied to me about da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. Remember? Yep. Yeah, remember you didn't give me no vagina for a month? Yeah, but remember what that fight was? Remember what led to that fight? You did X, Y, and Z. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's why I'm saying, if my wife was if I was unhappy for a year, it was because my wife was unhappy for a year, but my wife would have been unhappy because I made her unhappy. Because what would just make a person unhappy? That doesn't make any sense. And if it was life was getting in the way, why wouldn't we just address that? You see what I'm saying? Why wouldn't we just, if it was just hey, we're just not spending enough time with each other. The kids, we got to wake up every day. There's a grind. Why wouldn't you just make it? Why wouldn't you just wake up and then be like, yo, every week we need to make sure that we go out and, we get some alone time with us, right? We got to make sure we're doing that, checking in with each other every week. It's just, it's just, the whole thing is just going over and over and over again. Every day is becoming mundane, yada, yada, yada. We need to make sure that, every day is more what the fuck? That's hard. That's so difficult. That's fucking easy. That sounds fun to me. Go ahead, Lux.
I mean, Pub, you touched on most of it. It was just when Dapper specifically mentioned the things that were making his marriage hard, they all sounded like he was leaving out all of the things that you pretty much just described. Like, what is making the marriage hard? What is making taking care of the kids hard? It's always the one person's doing the labor and one person's two people doing the labor and doing what they need to do. I promise you, Dapper, you're not having all them issues. Do you have some issues? Absolutely, of course. People are, no incidents are
miscommunications happen.
Literally.
Head bumps happen. No, nobody's saying that, but that ain't gonna make you not like a motherfucker for a year or 2 or 3.
Literally, 12 years.
No, that's crazy.
Like, that is nasty work. It's, a lot of the things that y'all be describing when y'all be saying, oh, my relationship didn't work because both parties, da 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 da. And then when we come in and poke and prod, it's like, well, no, I actually wasn't doing the things. I wasn't paying attention. I was being abusive. I was doing all these other things. And it's like,
ain't no need to lie about it.
I think it's giving like, well, let me put the blame on both of us because it's a partnership. But it's like, yeah, but your partnership was never an equation of that. Like, it was never a part of the equation. But now that you got into the solution together, it's, well, A plus B equals C, but you was barely B in the equation. So you was like, you wasn't there. So I Pub clocked a lot of it, but I just think it's really, really, the language that y'all use pretty much. The way that y'all describe things before we poke and prod really gives y'all away. It really, really does. We have to poke and prod to figure out the fact that you was struggling to do the things that you were supposed to do. And again, it's not even, some of the things you described weren't even like actual issue. Not that they weren't issues, but like they're fully self-corrective. Like you yourself could have stepped up to the plate and corrected 90% of the stuff that you described in the story today.
Absolutely. And then to write it off as, oh, that's just how it's supposed to be is that is crazy to me.
Wicked work.
That doesn't make sense. That is not
wicked work.
I'm trying to figure out, here's what I'm saying. I didn't come from a 2-parent home. I didn't come, like, so yeah, like, what the fuck? Wow, you didn't need, like, that's common sense. That's it. I just don't want to, look, man, if anything else, I just don't want to be in that, like, I don't want to be a part of that shit. If not for nothing else, like, I don't want to be, maybe that's just me, because I'm selfish, because
you have children, right?
I'm not tolerating shit. Like, I don't know about other people. Right? Hold on. I'm not tolerating shit. Hold on. Let me read the super chat. I'll let you go. Osa says, safe to say, a pub can evolve. Most men can too. Osa, that is literally what I be saying all the time. Now, I have been told by some of my friends, some of my family members, and some of my mutuals on here that may not be the case. They trying to sell me on I'm a rare breed, and I'm trying to tell them absolutely the fuck not. I was diabolical. Y'all not about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm in the strong camp of if I can do it, anybody can. That's how my brain is working. I'm like, me, y'all, if that's what I'm, hey man.
On that no child left behind policy for changing.
For changing, like, hey.
No child left behind, Pub.
But I will say, I also, which I spoke about many a times, is my politics have helped me to understand these issues better. You know what I'm saying? So me having the politics that I had before coming in these spaces, I already understood all of these concepts, they were just applied to different things. You know what I'm saying? So I already understood racism and capitalism. I already understood that. It wasn't, so when I got into the patriarchy arena, which is the granddaddy of them all, it wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, this is crazy. What is this here? It was like, oh, this is where all this shit started.
Yep.
Now,
the first guy that came up here, it was very, very apparent that the reason he couldn't have those conversations was because of the political ideologies that he held. Like, you are not going to move past anything if the ideologies you hold politically, socially, whatever it may be, economically, are at a certain point. Like, you just cannot see things in a community manner. You can't see things out of a put yourself beside your up by your bootstraps manner. You can't see anything besides, oh, I did it and I worked hard, so everyone else just fucked. You can't view things that way. Come into these spaces and think you're going to understand the conversation. You've already locked yourself out.
Yeah, a lot of y'all got to get y'all cripping right. A lot of a lot of y'all cripping ain't. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to go work on y'all cripping, cause y'all shit be off.
Y'all like up the live. Let's get to 200K. Send them gifts. Let's try to get pub to a what is it?
I'm trying to get to A3.
A3.
But
That's what it is.
also I need the gifts for the to get on the leaderboard. I've been on the leaderboard. I've been like top 100 on there this whole time, and I'm in fucking the craziest one. I'm in the hardest one to be in. So I'm doing good. We doing good. I appreciate the help, y'all. Definitely. Let's keep liking
Tap
up
the screen, y'all. And then if you keep sending the gift goals, y'all, the donuts and the other stuff Pub sends, it gives him diamond fragments. The diamond fragments get him up on the leaderboard. So keep interacting with the live gifts. When you see the live gift like a banner show up on the bottom, send 1 or 2 of those things. Send as many as you can. Try to keep the live up. Let's get to 200K. It's about 400 of y'all. Shout out to the YouTube peeps. Y'all already know. Yeah, Pub, y'all got it. Hi, Shawnee. That's my friend, guys. That's my friend, Shawnee. Bye. I'm gonna drop now.
All right. Thank you, Lux. What else, Shawnee? Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Let Dapper go. He was trying to say something before. Go ahead, Dapper.
No, I was asking. I was like, when you have children, right? So you go to work, you come back, and then you have to prepare dinner together, and then maybe you have a young child, so then you got to rock this baby, to sleep.
Yeah.
And by the time you're done,
Come on,
you're
being a
talking
parent.
about a 16, 17-hour day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
you're talking about being a parent, so you just got to be more deliberate, and then make sure that you set time aside to go and talk to that woman face to face. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody's done it. The thing you're describing is stuff that we've all done multiple times. So yeah, I know how it works.
yeah, I know that that's what you're doing. So what I find interesting is when somebody doesn't forgive the other person for not having maybe the energy to address your relationship.
But why don't you? If you don't have the energy, A, that's a choice. B, if you don't have the energy, it's probably because your partner isn't helping you out. Because it ain't, sir, it ain't that fucking hard if 2 people are contributing. It's not. It's not. If 2
Well,
people are helping, it ain't that fucking hard. What are you like? What are you there? Like, I get one person. I get like just the dad, just the mom. Cool. I get that. But here's what I'm saying though. Let's say it was just you. Would you make these same excuses for neglecting your child?
no, you don't neglect. No, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so something happened to your wife, right? God forbid, right? Would you make the same excuse for not showing up for your children because you had other engagements, because you were so tired because you had to go to work or whatever the case may be? Absolutely not. So why do you do that for your wife?
No,
My guess is you don't like that woman.
oh, I do. I do. Of course I do.
You
She's my
kind of
wife.
like her. You like what she can do for you.
No, no, I like what we're able to do together.
Yeah, but that's what she can do for you though.
No, it's what we can do together. So like, for instance, the situation that you're talking about, we both get, we both get to bed, and she might look at me or I look at her, and it's like, yeah, you don't need to be addressed at this moment. Like, you just need to chill. You don't got to do anything for me. You don't got to like address me, because I know what you've been through the whole day. We've both been at work the whole day. We both come back, have to deal with these kids. You're exhausted. So there will come a time where this will pass. The kids will get older, whatever, then you don't have to do this all the more. And then we can enjoy ourselves. But because we've been able to go through that together, I think our relationship is stronger. So it's like, what I hear is that there's no ability to handle trouble. Like, as soon as the person is not able to address you for whatever reason, the
You
fact
think
that
that I don't know how to handle adversity? You think me and my wife didn't handle adversity in our relationship?
you did.
Okay. And we did
You
it
did.
without being mad at each other for years.
No, you didn't say that. What you said was that
Well, she
the
might
state
actually
that
been mad
your
at me for some
relationship
years.
was
I don't
in
know.
for a few years was because of what you were doing.
You said what?
You said that the state that your relationship was in for a few years was because of what you were doing.
Oh no, I'm saying that whatever. If my relationship is hard, it's because of me. Even right now, today, not just back then. Right now, today, if my relationship is difficult, it's because of me. I know that.
But what you didn't say was that your relationship survived because of her ability to support you in that time when you weren't doing what you were supposed to do?
Our relationship survived because my wife was willing to put up with a lot of bullshit for me.
Yes. And that's what
That
I'm
had
saying.
zero to do with me. I can't take any credit for it.
But
Do I
would
recommend
you
now?
not,
Wait. But here's where you and me differ. Great that my wife stayed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm lucky, right? I recognize that. Would I like if I had a daughter? Would I tell my daughter to do that? Fuck, hell no. Would I tell any woman, like anybody I knew personally, like you just got to stick it out. I know being bad for. I know being down for. Don't no woman owe that. My wife wanted to do that for me for whatever reason. That's her. You know what I'm saying? Like she loved me, whatever she felt, that's her thing. You know what I'm saying? But she knows, and I know she didn't owe me that. She did. She didn't owe me that. She doesn't owe me that to this day.
but you're saying that you wouldn't do that for her.
I ain't gonna even hold you. I probably wouldn't have.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. Now I'm saying if she was acting like how I was acting, no, I wouldn't have. I'm not gonna say probably. I wouldn't have. But if something happened to my wife or something like that, definitely that's something completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like some external thing affects us, I'm down. I'm not even tripping off of that. But like if she was just like abusing me, like neglecting me, lying to me, like things like that. Oh no, I'm not sticking around for that shit. I'm not sticking around for that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm not gonna say that my wife should have done that or whatever the case may be. I fully recognize that I was lucky. And here's what I be telling people all the time. Y'all will never make me hate that woman. I owe her everything. Like
But
I'm
how
not
would
going
you owe her?
I owe her to be a better person. I owe her to try.
How
I
would
owe
you
her
owe
the
her if
effort.
she just gave up on you?
I owe her all of that stuff. Huh?
But how would you owe her if she just gave up on you? Because it's
She
like
didn't.
she knows it. If she's your
If she
wife,
did,
you're
I
her
wouldn't owe
husband.
her. What are you saying? If she did, I wouldn't owe her. But she didn't, so I owe her. I
No,
owe her.
what I'm saying is,
I don't owe her. Listen to what I'm saying.
Mhm.
One of the things, the way I look at this stuff is, I think it would be really fucked up for my wife to put all this effort and energy in to helping me become a better person, right? And then I'm actually becoming a better person. And then I fucking leave her.
But you said that you wouldn't have done that for her.
No, for two reasons. I don't know how to do it. Even if I wanted to do it, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. And two, I don't think how I looked at it, I'm not built for that shit. I'm not a ride or die in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like that. And I'm a man and I'm very inherently selfish. So if you're not giving me what I need, oh my God, I'm not like if she did it now, I would stay. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I would owe her that too. But like in that day, like before any of that happened or whatever, and we were just together and it was like year number 2 and she was like lying to me and no, I'm not, what the fuck, I'm not staying around. And nobody owes anybody that. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of who dude, if somebody cheats and the person that got cheated on stays, I'm not going to shame that person for staying. Also, I'm not going to say, oh, that was the right thing to do, you should have stayed. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stay with the person, that's your choice. I would never be like, oh, you're wrong for staying. Like, it's not a right or wrong thing in my mind. That's not what it is. But I am saying, no, once that happens, right? Once you, like, you are that, I'm acknowledging the role that I played in the relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like, which are two completely different things. I was the cause of the pain and the difficulty and the yada, yada, yada. I don't want my relationship to be like that anymore. So guess what? I got to change. Boop.
But your relationship belongs to her. That's what you're saying. Because if you were in her shoes, you wouldn't have done it, and there's no relationship to speak of.
No, what are you talking about? It doesn't belong to her. It's our relationship. You're missing the point. I have so much control over my relationship. You're missing what I'm telling you. It's definitely not hers. It is mine. I'm the one that actually I have the control over the relationship. And what I'm saying is I have the ability to make my relationship as good or as bad as I want it to be.
But when you made it as bad as it was, she was the one who held on to it until the point where you could get better.
Yeah, and she didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but what you're saying is that you wouldn't have done that for her.
Yeah, we already went
So
through
we're
this. Yes.
different. Yeah, so we're different.
Dapper, you steady going around in circles with this man. I mean, this is just really getting crazy right here. He didn't told you this. See, us women, we are conditioned and taught to endure you all's bull. That's why
And I'm
she
saying that's
loves him
crap.
so.
That's
No, no, no,
crap.
no, no,
That's
no,
a
no.
human trait.
What are
No,
you
that's
talking?
not a human trait. That's not. She imperfect is 100% right. That is not a human trait. Most men ain't staying.
Were
Most
you
men
not
are
the
He
not
one
just
who?
staying, sir.
told you. And you probably wouldn't either. And it's your fault that you sat there for 5, 7, 12 years and sat in silence and did that. That's your fault. Nobody else's but yours. So don't blame it on your wife, but nobody
No, it was
but
my
you.
choice.
You sat up there and said you didn't like this woman. Like, that's crazy.
Also, she
Like,
didn't
let my,
imperfect. It don't sound like she actually did anything to him. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It just sounds like life was lifing, and instead of him addressing it, he was just like, "Nope, this is how it should be. I'm gonna suffer through it."
There's nothing to address. I didn't say that things were difficult between us.
Wow.
I didn't say that we were fighting or anything like that. I was just saying that when I come home and I have to put the children to bed and I have to read their books and go through their homework and that little stuff, at the end of the day, I didn't, when I go to bed, it's no like, it's not like when we were newlyweds. But I understood full well that it's because of what we're doing. It has nothing to do with her. The same way that it had nothing to do with me when, maybe she was like, I don't want to talk to you today. I don't want to talk to you right now. What I'm saying is that if you don't have the ability to endure those things, then your relationship really isn't anything. Because what you're
But the,
talking about is you're talking about when you were at your worst, your wife was beside you. And you're like, if my wife was at her worst, I wouldn't be there.
No. See, you
Because,
missing.
right?
I want to be clear. I'm saying if my wife was treating me worse, if my wife was, it ain't about where she was at. If she was at her worst, meaning it was external, I would be there. If it was like she lost her job, she got injured, she got, you know what I'm saying? She got sick. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm there for that type of shit. But if
But
she
you
was
weren't the
the
man
actual
then
thing
that
that
you
was,
are now.
hold on. If she was the actual catalyst for the struggle, no. But like Imperfect said, men and women are conditioned differently, right? Unfortunately for women, in this particular case, women are conditioned differently. Women are unfortunately conditioned to stay. Women are unfortunately conditioned to be like, oh, he's a good man. I'm gonna stick beside him. Yada yada yada. You don't hear men say stuff like that. You never heard a man say, that's a good woman. You got to stick beside her, man. She gonna work through it. You ain't never heard two men tell each other that. Ever. I've never heard it. Never.
I knew
Never.
full well. I knew full well when I stood there that day and made those vows that I was deadly serious. It has nothing to do with her. What I will endure. That's entirely
I'm
on
not
you.
teaching
You
nobody
can
to endure
justify it.
shit in a relationship. I'm
You
not
can
teaching
justify it
nobody
and be
to
like, well,
endure stuff. Like, nah, you could do better than that. You can do yeah, man. That, like I said, I know I was lucky. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm fortunate. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I got it. That's why I would never not give my wife that credit. I would never not give her that credit ever. She's always gonna get that credit. Now people say you a better person than me. I mean that with all with all the respect in the world. She is a better person than me. And she saw something in me I didn't see, and she was like, I'm gonna stick it out with him and I'm gonna help him get better. And she is helping me to get better. So I owe her all of that stuff. No doubt about it. I owe her to be better. And that is a big reason why
you're kind of criticizing me for the same thing, even though that wasn't in the case of what she was doing. I was telling you that it's just life.
But Dapper, my
you ain't
wife
made no sense since you've been up here, honey.
my wife, hold on, I want to separate two things. My wife also didn't fucking stay silent for 12 years. My wife was, sir, excuse me, sir. I need, pay attention. You're fucking up. Oh, really? Yeah, you fucking up. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, let me work on that. Okay, cool. I'll be working on it, thinking I'm doing good. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't, it's you. You doing better. You doing a little bit better, but I still need more about it. Oh, okay, I could do a little bit. Now you done reverted back to how you used to be. I need for you to get that shit. Like, my wife was not quiet at all. She was fighting. She was advocating for herself. She was, course correcting, whatever she was doing that shit. So it wasn't like she was just sitting back suffering, and then one day the kids are grown. She was just hoping one day for the kids to be grown, and we was gonna get over it, because that don't make no fucking sense. Because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's why I don't believe you, by the way. It's not how it works. Like, it wasn't just your kids. What are you talking about? That's not how it works. There's a divide.
What do you mean? It's not just, I'm not kids. I'm talking about at that stage of life. At that stage of life, like between your 20, when you graduate university and you get your first career, you get married, you buy a house, you have children. It is one of the most difficult times in your life. That's just a fact. When you get to your 40s, you've paid off most of your house, your children are on autopilot because they're, graduating high school, going to university. It's a lot easier. On top of that, you have a lot more practice at it. So it's when people think about, these people.
How did you guys reconnect after being disconnected for 12 years?
No, I didn't say it was 12 years. I said it was after 12 years that we had settled all of our life things.
How did you settle
nothing to do with us.
How did you settle them?
How did we settle it?
Yeah, what are you talking about, life things? What do you mean?
I'm talking about, you've got the heavy lifting out of the way. So the children are grown. Like, when you become a parent for the first time, you don't know what you're doing. You're both under a lot of stress. Because you're up half the night. You're both trying to maintain your jobs, which are not even, big jobs, because you just started your life. And when you get, maybe a decade in, the kids are maybe 10, 12, that age.
Wow, bro.
Things just get easier. Don't you find, I find life a lot easier.
This is crazy. Dapper. This is a little cool to me. Well, let me read this cash out. Miss Chrissy Baby said, when you're exhausted, you want to fall in the arms of someone you love. If it's a chore to enjoy time, you don't like her. Facts. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right. Go ahead, Shawnee.
I'm gonna point out, if men truly believe they don't owe women anything, then y'all need to get rid of that expectation that we're supposed to come in your life and help improve your life and do all these things on your behalf at the expense of expecting a woman to put her life on hold to elevate your life. That's how I see it. If that's what y'all truly believe, then y'all need to stop pushing this, woe is me, oh, women need to build with me, all this other stuff. Y'all need to stop telling women that, because if you're capable of building the life that you want for yourself, you go ahead and do it already. You wouldn't be having this expectation for women to come in and do all this labor on your behalf. It kind of reminds me of, traditional men that try to position themselves as traditional men, but then they turn around and contradict themselves when they talk about, oh, if I were to divorce my wife, then I don't want to, I don't want to pay alimony. I don't want to pay spousal support. I don't want to pay child support. I don't want to pay anything. But you had this expectation for this woman to be in your home to do unpaid labor, because let's be really honest, most women that stay at home, they're not getting paid. But you had this expectation for this woman to come in your home, do unpaid labor, take care of your kids, and then when you divorce her, you sitting here talking about, I don't owe her anything. Y'all are actually proving the point on why alimony exists in the first place, because the government pretty much didn't want to step in back in the day to subsidize your ex-wife's, pretty much subsidize her because she wasn't able to work, and the government didn't want to. Basically, I see it as the government didn't want to pay no money, so they were like, well, y'all are marrying these women, y'all are gonna start paying them and compensating them for their labor.
Let me read this Cash App. China said, she asked you a question, Dapper. She wants to know, she said, you couldn't do that with your first wife? If you was willing to suffer and do all of that shit, why couldn't you stay with your first wife? I think that's fair. Dapper. Wicked work. Wicked work. All right, we're gonna come back to
everybody on mute.
Yeah. My divinity was good.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing tonight? I'm just trying to figure out why they think that it's a problem with us being single and why they talk so much about us being single if they can't even be good partners, if they can't even speak up in the relationship when once sorry, why they can't speak up if something is wrong. And then when I heard him talking about the whole situation with the kids and all this stuff, women are single mothers do this. They do this shit with no effort. They go to school, they run the household, they go to work, they do all these things on their own. And when those kids go to bed, they have the luxury of being able to go to bed and not have to worry about a bump on the log of a man. I just don't understand that. And I haven't heard his whole complete story, but it just sounds like so much weakness that is within him. Oh, you're back?
Let me read this cash app real quick. Cassandra's, hold on. She said, thanks for the cash app, Cassandra. She said, thanks for your content. I appreciate you. No, thank you. Go ahead, Dapper. You can answer. You can respond, I should say.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't do it well. Like it's single parents basically don't do it as well as both parents can. Like it's kind of straightforward.
I think.
Y'all, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I just think it's funny that y'all always try to come with that kind of stuff. But like, if I'm talking about my happiness on my own with my children, doing the best that I can for me and mine, not having to worry about a bump in the log of a man, why would I want to have to do that with an unavailable partner who can't even speak up and say how he feels, or if there's an issue in the relationship? It's almost like you're another kid.
Sounds like that tolerable level of unhappiness that men already expect to put up with when they even get in a relationship with a woman.
That is 100% true. The expectations are like super duper low. That's what I was saying, Shawnee. I feel like men just be on some like, oh, it's gonna be fucked up anyway. But it be from us. That be the, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't be like the woman is gonna make you unhappy. The woman just gonna clock your shit, and you ain't gonna want to change, and that's gonna make you unhappy. But like she's not gonna make you unhappy. Ain't like she gonna be out here doing shit to be like, man, I don't like that.
And my thing, and also, if you're already expecting to be unhappy in a relationship, then why just, you're better off just staying single. And honestly, it, like I come on here many times and say, if you already expecting to be unhappy in a relationship with a woman, that sounds like an incompatibility issue that should have been addressed while y'all were dating.
Yep.
If that's really the issue, which most likely it is, because a lot of y'all be partnering with women that y'all don't even like or be attracted to. You partner with women out of convenience, which that's, I don't know what type of humiliation kink that is, but I want no parts of it. But y'all be knowing, y'all don't be compatible. Because y'all know that y'all don't be compatible with these women that y'all be entertaining, and then you get in relationships with them, and then you wonder why you're unhappy. Because y'all were not compatible. I never said that. But you tend to overlook it because y'all got a scarcity mindset and y'all are pick-me's.
No, like that's.
Hold on, wait. I got Dapper. You can respond. Let me read this guy chat. God has said they put $10 on that boy's head, so that's 30 in total. And she said, I got to get a drink. And I don't even drink. All right, go ahead.
You know what? I feel like Dapper felt the patriarchy.
Let Dapper respond, and then you can go. He was in the middle. I cut him off.
No, I'm like you're saying things that aren't true. The fact that that period was difficult doesn't mean that I was unhappy with her. It just means that you're going through a difficult time, in terms of what you guys are doing together. If we weren't compatible, we would have never been able to succeed. Just because something's difficult.
That's not true. And what? What are you saying? What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that the fact that we are compatible, we work together well, we know what we're doing, we love each other. So these little things don't come up. If I don't talk to her for a day or two, she looks at me, knows me, and is like, yeah, the guy's just exhausted, tired. It doesn't have to be a big issue. Like all the things that I hear you guys talking about are like little things that you're making a big issue.
Being unhappy for years is a big issue, bro. Sir, I'm sorry.
I said that.
You said that. You said it. I didn't make it up. Let me read this super chat. The Brat said Dapper should change his name to Yapper.
Who goes the whole 2 days without talking to their spouse? Who goes the whole 2 days? But Dapper, if you in a whole relationship, you mean to tell me that you go a whole 2 days without talking to her? That it sounds like you need to go get checked out, because if you know you in a relationship, how do you not talk to them for 2 whole days just because you're tired?
That's a very interesting thing. So there's one thing that people say that is said about relationships is that if you're able to be in complete silence with a person, you're probably in sync. You don't have to fill up the space just to entertain yourself. So it's not that we don't talk because something's wrong. We don't talk because we're in sync. We don't have to like verbalize everything.
What?
What are you talking about? Like, yeah,
sir,
like,
what?
Do you not have?
What are you talking about? Why are you saying things that brother? You when you're married, that's not. Bro, this is crazy. What you're describing is not what's supposed to be happening in them. You're supposed to be communicating, even like that's like
talking isn't the only form of communication. You're talking about as if there was some animosity or something.
Yasmin said we don't care. Please drop him. She has a headache. Elizabeth said it sounds like he wants his mother, and then later on he wants a wife in bed. If most men talked about how they viewed their wives and their girlfriends, it would sound like that.
He sounds like he might be on the spectrum, not talking for 2 days, and not. I mean, that sounds kind of strange, because I don't know.
No, it don't. It sounds like a man. See, you thinking about it. You thinking about it through the lens of you thinking about it rationally. That's your problem.
Yeah, a lot of men are on the spectrum. That's the problem. A lot of
dudes are on the spectrum. But I don't want to do that too. I ain't gonna do that. I'm just telling you that you think. See, that's the problem with y'all women. Y'all be looking at shit too. It's too rational. You gotta look at it through the mind of a man. Not talking for 2 days is perfectly acceptable in a healthy relationship. That's how men think. See, you got.
I would have to agree with you publicly.
Y'all gotta flip it. Yeah. Imperfect. Yeah. You gotta flip it. You gotta look at it from a different angle, because that's rational. To be in and you would call that relationship healthy, to not talk to a motherfucker you sleeping next to for 2 whole fucking days, and y'all not arguing.
Yeah. And it's crazy, but no, you are right, because my husband has done that before, and I just look at him like, you know what? Keep on going without talking and see what happened then.
Yeah, and when you just leave, shooketh. What? Dear John letter on the mantle. He like, what? Nigga, you ain't talked to that woman in 7 days.
I know.
Y'all wasn't even fighting. Y'all wasn't even fighting. Like it wasn't like a cat.